Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Oban 14. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of Oban 14. This is a 14-year-old single malt Scotch whisky. It's a Highland whisky from the west coast of Scotland. It's bottled at 43% ABV. It's most likely coloured and chill filtered, and it retails for around £48. Oban is a distillery that's been around since 1794, and the distillery is quite small. It only has 2 stills. It only has 7 full-time staff that make the whisky, and since 1989 this bottle of Oban 14 has been part of the classic single malts of Scotland. Being part of Diageo, it's quite unusual that it is such a small distillery. They are a low volume distillery and they only produce for certain days of the week. It isn't a distillery that is in constant production. They could definitely produce more than they currently do. This particular whisky was one of the first whiskies I ever tried. After my epiphany with Suntory's The Cheetah and a dabble with Monkey Shoulder, which I didn't enjoy, this was probably the 3rd or 4th whisky I ever tried, and at the time it blew me away. As a complete novice, yeah, it was completely different to the whiskies I'd tried previously. But how does it stand up now as, you know, a more seasoned whisky drinker? Well, there's only one way to find out. On to the whisky. Right, so before I start, let's have a look at the colour. That is a nice colour. I'd say it's burnished, but unfortunately it is most likely coloured. Let's move on to the nose. Right, so it is really quite sweet. I'm getting demerara sugar, which turns into burnt toffee or caramel. I'm getting like cloves, then cinnamon. I'm getting quite a lot of tropical fruit in the background. Let's move on to the palate. There's quite a nice viscosity with this. For a chill filtered whisky, it really is nice on the palate. I get sweet burnt caramel, like creme brulee almost. I'm getting tropical fruits. Really is lovely and sweet. There is a wisp of smoke there. It could be that I'm more used to it, but I remember when I first tried this, the smoke was quite noticeable. It was, you know, one of its main features. But for my palate now, it's hardly there. I didn't pick it up on the nose. I'm sure I did when I first tried it, but yeah, it's a small amount of smoke. And to be fair, that's turning into like a charred oak note, so it's more like charred wood than it is smoke from peat, for example. Let's have another sip. Yeah, so that tropical note is starting to intensify. Really is sweet fruits with that sort of burnt sugar background. The tropical fruit is very much sort of mango. There's almost a touch of ginger in there as well, and there's like a touch of sea salt in there as well. Really is quite nice. In terms of finish, it is quite light. There's a hint of heat or pepperiness, but it really is quite minimal, and a small amount of sort of dry wood verging on sort of pencil shavings. And that finishing strength is probably short to medium for me. In terms of flavour, it's very, very nice. It's soft, it's sweet. There is that wisp of smoke. It really is a gentle, enjoyable dram. But even though it's nice and enjoyable, I think it's lost some of its magic for me, because the memories I have and associate with this from when I first tried it, it doesn't bring those back. It doesn't have those connections. It's ever so slightly different. But this is still an enjoyable whiskey. I think a lot of people out there would like it. It's obviously one of the classic single malts of Scotland range from Diageo for a reason, because it does identify itself as a West Highland whiskey, so it bridges itself, quite nicely in their portfolio amongst the other drams in that range. But it's fairly good value when it comes to a 14-year-old whiskey from a major producer. It can often be had for probably around the £5 discount, so sort of £43, £44 mark. And I'm sure I'll enjoy this bottle, and I'll probably be tempted to buy another one. If it sounds like your cup of tea, then I'll put a link in the description and you can find out more. And if it doesn't, then, well, I'll see you for the next review. Saunter.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment? And please consider subscribing for more videos like this.